In episode 5, I'll be talking about how I actually work on building confidence and courage in a horse further on. My approach at this stage is always a little different for each horse. With Polar Bear, as you know from the earlier episodes, he used to be really scared of almost everything, especially of anything that moved on or above him. So for him, I came up with what I call the ball training. Now, it's really important for me to say right up front this is not about teaching some circus tricks. The balls are simply a tool, a way to help Polar gain more self confidence. Before we even got to this point, there was a full year of groundwork, going for walks, water training, just trust building, riding from the seat without the reins, fitness work for me, all of that. So I'd strongly advise against just trying this out because it looks cool. If a horse or rider isn't perfectly or well prepared, it can very quickly have the opposite effect of what it's actually meant to do. But since you've already watched the first 4 episodes and have probably been practicing quite a bit yourselves, I'm sure you can tell whether you and your horse are ready for this kind of specific resilience training, or if it's maybe better to wait a little while longer. In any case, I wish you lots of fun watching it and then, now or later, trying it yourself. For me, it's especially important to let the horse move freely at the beginning of any new exercise. It should be able to decide for itself without any pressure how it wants to react. I start by interacting with a scary object myself, showing the horse that it's not dangerous. Once the horse shows no signs of tension, we continue under saddle, simply walking calmly past the balls. Every time the horse touches the ball or follows it, I praise it generously. So at first I just ride quietly and relaxed behind the small ball. It might look boring, but it's the most important foundation for building trust. Not over challenging the horse is just as crucial as remaining calm and relaxed. When that works well, the big ball comes in. Pola is still a little nervous at first, yeah. After all, for a horse, one ball is not the same as another. A different look means potential danger. Patience and calm are key, giving the horse another positive experience and the chance to develop more confidence and courage. At one point, Pola even kicks the big ball. Then we continue by following the ball at the trot. It's absolutely essential not to interfere. Stay as quiet in the saddle as possible and avoid any rein contact. And don't forget, praise is not an interruption of training, it's the most important part of it. Once that goes smoothly, I start to bounce and throw the ball, again beginning with a small one. Tiny steps are far better than pushing the horse too quickly, which would destroy all self confidence and trust in the rider. When the horse stays calm and relaxed, even with this challenge, we move on to cantering with silent balls as at first. Here, my focus is on rhythm, energy, and relaxation. And again, don't interfere. Quiet seat, quiet lower legs. Remember to keep your hips forward while gently shortening the space between your last rib and hip bone. My goal, rhythm, relaxation, content horse. For the rider, the key points throughout this training are stay calm, breathe evenly, and ride from your seat, not from your hands. At no point do I want to create pressure. The horse should develop courage, not fear of control. If the horse remains relaxed, we move on to the next step, cantering calmly beside a bouncing ball and passing it without tension. Rhythmic, relaxed cantering. No pressure, no force. Just canter playfully around with the balls. Stay relaxed yourself and try to maintain and keep a good rhythm in the canter. Once that works easy, we move to this exercise. The horse stands quietly on a loose rein while a ball bounces or flies in front of it. If this works with a small ball, you can start trying to catch it. This will take more or less time depending on the horse. I let my cousin walk around Pola with the bouncing ball again once more because he was or used to be very, very scared of the noise that it made. And then we attempt the absolute royal discipline, which is throwing the ball straight over the horse's head from the front. Pola masters it beautifully and gets a lot of praise for it. This enthusiastic reward is just as important as the rest of the training, if not even more important. A little note, you should never finish this exercise with a horse that is less relaxed than Pola. If that happens, the horse was not properly prepared with enough patience and calmness. For Pola, the next step comes with a big ball, just as we were about to start. A tractor passed by in the background and caught his attention. In that case, it's essential to stop and wait until the distraction is gone. When the bouncing and flying big ball is no longer an issue, you can gently toss it toward the horse, just like I did at the beginning during Liberty work. Then I start by tossing it, letting it bounce off my hand from the side. If that works calmly, I try catching it, still from close range. No big drama, but lots and lots of praise. We do this several times. Lola is more interested in the treats here than in the ball, but that's what it's all about. And then we prepare for the royal discipline with a big ball, first tossing it up, then slightly from the front, catching it, and then catching and throwing it down on the other side. Take your time and praise and praise. And finally, yes, we really do it. The big ball flies straight over Polar's head and he doesn't even flick an ear. All this with a horse that just 1 year earlier wouldn't even let me shorten the reins, tighten the girth from the saddle, or take off my jacket. I let this breakthrough sink in for a few days before moving on to the next step, cantering straight toward a potentially scary object. First, I just canter past and around it, then directly towards it, gradually increasing the pace. We do it a little bit slower at the beginning. Praise again, very, very important, and then we speed it up a little. As you can see, Pola has no doubt that he has conquered the ball. That black thing will never scare him again. So I thought, why not catch and throw the ball while moving? We started doing it, and Pola wasn't impressed at all. But his colleagues on the paddock were. He had to take a little break there because they got so scared. One more reason why I do resilience training with all my horses, because I don't want a scared horse like that, but a brave one that isn't impressed at all. After this, catching and throwing on a moving horse worked well, and bouncing off my hand when I wasn't able to catch it. We switched to chasing the ball, a little game of chasing the ball again in between. I do that because it enhances self-confidence, because the horse has the impression it can control and chase the ball. Again, his colleagues on the paddock were so scared that we had to pause briefly once more. You can see the difference here between a horse that has been trained in this way and horses that haven't. I think what we can see here is that Pola really has a talent for herding. Maybe I should try some cattle work with him. He picked that up very, very quickly, and he had fun while doing so, and that was the best thing that could have happened. Had to readjust my helmet here. And then I wanted to try bounce the ball off my hand, but at a canter. I started at walk at first, caught it again a few times just to make sure it was all good. Birded it once more. He was so fast in that last corner there that he almost lost me. A little bit more catching and throwing, all in preparation for the first attempt of letting the ball bounce off my hand canter. That wasn't very, very clever of me. But here we go. And obviously, the first attempt was not a success. It was literally not good at all. Luckily, my cousin is very good at throwing balls. So, next one worked. I was so proud of Pola when we got this done. This was the most incredible feeling that this so panicky, very scared horse was now so relaxed and confident and brave. I think for him, this training was really miraculous. I wish you lots of fun practicing.